Good morning and welcome to another Wicked Truth. Today is the 23rd of September 2018. We're in Dubai and the weather is getting better day by day as we come out of the really hot summer. And as I promised, I have a lot of different interests and I've been reading a lot of stuff recently and doing a lot of stuff. This is my kind of breakfast reading. Just want to take you kind of through it. We have Arabic for everyday use. Not a bad idea since I live in a country that speaks Arabic. This book is about regulatory hacking in a playbook for startups. So I'm trying to do a startup at the moment. In fact, I'm trying to do two. I'm trying to do one with a friend that is about the guitar and how to learn it. And I'm trying to do one by myself about learning languages, since that's what I'm interested in. Although there seems to be a huge market for learning language apps. So really, I have no idea if I'm actually going to go ahead with it, but I'm reading about it. This one's a pretty interesting book. It's called We Have No Idea. It's really about dark energy and dark matter, and it's kind of interesting because it's one of these new books which is kind of uses a lot of like illustrations in comic style, which I kind of appreciate, and I think it's a really nice way of actually writing books. This one's a good one. This one's written by Kaushik Basu. It's called The Republic of Beliefs. And it's really about a new approach to economics using game theory. I'm not entirely convinced by the guy's ideas yet, but it's interesting. I bought it in Bangalore when I was out there. This one I bought on the internet. It's called Distributed Systems, Principles and Paradigms by Andrew S. Tannenbaum. Andrew S. Tannenbaum is like the famous writer of a book called Operating Systems, and I think lots of colleges use that to teach their students about operating systems. So it's like kind of a hardcore computing book. This one is an interesting one. This one's called Great Ideas, and it's from the Britannica Great Book series, which is like a canonical. It's about 42 books, and within each book, these are quite big. And if you have a look, the writing really is quite small, and I can't get you there. Yeah. And it goes through the canon on Western liberal arts and writing, philosophy, science, everyone from Antoine Lavoisier to Hegel to all the Greek writers, the pre-Socratics, etc. This particular one is an old book. It's called 7 Languages in 7 Weeks by Bruce Tate. And what I'm trying to do there is learn a particular programming paradigm and language called Prolog, which is a declarative language using kind of facts as programming language. And the reason I wanted to learn that is because I used to program a language called Picolisp, and Picolisp has a Prolog type language for accessing the database. Yes, sounding kind of odd there. This is an old book which I read. I kind of wanted to review it at some point. It's called Electric Meme. It's kind of meme theory, more computing. This one's interesting. Sorry about the way I'm holding the phone today, by the way, but this is a new trial. This one's called The Darker Night. The Darker Night, The Darker the Night, the Brighter the Stars. Neuropsychologist's Odyssey. I think I have not really started the book, but it starts with his wife passing away, and his state of mind after that and dealing with grief and etc. Wow, very interesting. Anyway, this one I've been trying to read for years, but like a lot of books, there's a lot of writing. I know some people write a lot and there's less information for the amount of writing there is. It's a great weakness that goes on. Then I've got the veritable Kafka, Franz Kafka. If you haven't read The Trial, you really got to go and do it. While we're at it, I might as well tell you about the service I've been using. I'm going to tell you about it later because I've got a little... It's called Scribd. It's really fantastic. I'm going to tell you about that in a second. Then in India, I bought a book called Introduction to Tantra, and I bought quite a few books on Tantra. And Tantra has a kind of bad name in the West because it was, people have this impression it's about sexual stuff. But the more I started getting into it and started studying it, I started to realize it's really not about that at all. It's a very deep philosophical system in Hinduism. And, from what I understand, you really need a guru. I don't have a guru yet, but, in Tantra, that is. But, that might happen. Then I can kind of review this book. It's been reviewed a lot on the internet, so you can actually look up some other reviews on it. It's called Fluent in 3 Months by Benny Lewis, who's a kind of character that goes around the world trying to learn languages within 3 months and being, functionally fluent in them. I think he's had a lot of success. But yeah, that's his book. Then getting near the final stages. We have Le Trésor de l'Enfance, which is a really nice little book. I'm learning French. A children's book, but the stories are interesting. It's got illustrations, etc. But I'm having a lot of problems with French, not really with the vocabulary, but more with the idioms, and I just can't hear it. So when I read it, I can understand it, but when it's being spoken on like radio or news channels or in films, etc., I really can't hear the words. I can see them when I'm reading them and I can understand them, but I really can't hear them. So I'm going to try something and I'll get back to you on how that works. If you guys are struggling with languages, I think I have a lot to say about them. And I've got another book on Arabic here. This one's a new one. I haven't touched it at all, but it's called Yashodhara. And that's really a novel about Buddha's life. I don't know if it's a fictionalized novel of what kind, how factual it is, but I've always been interested in Buddhism and the Buddha, so why not about his wife? And last and not least, this book has been also sitting out here for quite a while. It's called Rebels, My Life Behind Enemy Lines. I read the first 2 chapters and it's really kind of interesting about this guy, Addis Rousinos, who goes behind enemy lines and kind of hangs out with, some serious danger. So that's it. And then last but not least, really last but not least, here is a book called Siddhartha, and it's written by Hermann Hesse. And the cool thing about this book, you're not going to find it in many places, is it's actually written in Esperanto. And that's another language I've been kind of toying with over the many years. And kind of my plan, let's have a look. It's approximately 122 pages. So I'm planning on reading this entire book on YouTube in my wonderful Esperanto accent. There's not too many resources out there on Esperanto, probably because there's not too many people trying to learn it. I have no idea. But I wanted to add to the corpus. I'm not very good. I'm not an expert in any way, but I'm functionally able to handle quite a lot of Esperanto. So for any of you out there who might be wanting to learn the language, have a look. This was more of an introduction to what I'm doing, which is a lot of this stuff, and that's just my morning reading. And let's see how it goes. So I'm back. It's been a while. Thank you for listening to The Wicked Truth. Goodbye. And please try to subscribe. I don't post that often, and even if I do, I don't really do annoying stuff. It's not. It's more about learning. So if you like to learn, then please subscribe. And